Hey, everybody, and welcome to episode 2 of Project XTalk, your new weekly Xbox podcast. We record every Thursday, and our podcasts go up by Sunday at the latest on YouTube, Spotify, and Anchor. Today, I'm once again joined by Tom
Going on, everyone.
and Kevin.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Unfortunately, Garrett won't be able to join us today. He will be back again next week. I would like to thank you all for the reception of our first episode, and we hope you will all continue with us on this journey we have taken. So now, let's jump right into this week's topics. So let's start off with Halo Master Chief Collection boost on the Xbox Series X. So we'll basically be getting 120 FPS boost. So what do you guys think about that?
I think it'll be a lot better. I don't think the game currently even runs at a consistent 60 FPS at times. So just getting a boosted mode will at least improve the frame rate when I'm playing normal multiplayer. And as far as the 120 FPS, I mean, for those that have the TV, it's gonna feel nice and smooth for you guys.
Yeah, I do agree.
Oh, sorry. As someone that's been playing the Master Chief Collection, I was trying to beat all the games in anticipation for Halo Infinite coming out. Obviously, that got delayed, so no rush for me to finish those. But I'm on the original Xbox One, so I'm really excited to see how the Series X optimizes the Master Chief Collection. It's going to run campaign and multiplayer at 120 frames a second, 4K support on the Series X, so I can't really ask for much more. I know I made that tweet about dual needlers in Halo 2. That's my personal favorite Halo, so I'm really excited to check that out.
Yeah, man, same here. 120 FPS is just absolutely amazing to play at, and getting Halo, all four original Halo games at 120 FPS is just sweet, you know. And yeah, Xbox does have a lot of games running at 120 FPS at launch, especially like Gears 5. We got Dirt 5, we got Fortnite, we got Call of Duty is running on 120 FPS, and now Halo Master Chief Collection. So that's an impressive lineup of games running at 120 FPS. Is Master Chief Collection running on 4K as well? Because I'm not so sure about that.
Series X, it said it can go up to 4K. I don't know if it's 4K 120 or if you have to lower the resolution to get the 120. They didn't really specify that in their tweet. They just said up to 120 and up to 4K. So it might be we get 4K 60 and 1440p 120. We'll have to wait and see how it actually runs on the console.
Yeah, I mean, that makes much more sense. But 4K 120 FPS, man, that would be amazing for Halo. Moving on to Scorn gameplay. What do you guys think of the Scorn gameplay we just got yesterday?
It was weird. So just from the trailers, from when I saw it way back, I wasn't sure what to expect from the game. And now looking at it, I still don't know what to expect. It reminds me of like Resident Evil in a way, but much more dark and gruesome. I'm not sure what's going on. And the enemies, everything just seems real slow, but it interests me. I'm still not positive what to expect from it. I'm interested to see more.
Yeah, I remember seeing it, the initial reveal trailer in the showcase over the summer, and I had no idea what type of game this was. You know, it was some weird alien-esque type game. Lots of graphic images were on the screen, dripping goo. It was very disturbing. I mean, I checked out the 13 minutes. Another game that's running 4K 60 FPS on the Series X. So that, I mean, visually it looks great. It looks disgusting, but like that's the aesthetic they're going for. I think they want it to be horrifying and visually, gross to look at. I'm definitely not sold on the gameplay that was shown though. It looks very, very slow. The enemies, I know that they showed them shooting the enemies. Reloading the gun took forever. I saw some people calling it walking simulator just because of how slow it was. So they're gonna have to do some convincing. I mean, it is on Game Pass when it comes out, I believe. So I would definitely, give it a try. I'm not opposed to it, but right now I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I do agree with you there, Kevin. The game looks good, but it really showcases the strength of the Xbox Series X. It's running at 4K, which looks absolutely gorgeous. I don't think the game's my cup of tea. It looks like a Resident Evil S type of game, and yeah, I just don't see it being my cup of tea. I'm not my game taste. I might try it on Game Pass, but yeah, the game does look so gruesome and gross, and all that goo dripping off the guns and reloading the gun especially looked disgusting. So yeah, we did get a lot of PlayStation fans hating on this game, saying that Microsoft is showcasing a walking simulator game, as you just said, Kevin. So, I mean, it's really gotten to a point where it's kind of getting ridiculous now because console wars are kind of dead now. It's basically streaming wars have just begun. Do you agree with that, Kevin?
Yeah, I mean, if you're still in the console war mindset, then you need to really grow up. Xbox and PlayStation are doing two very different things. As someone that's getting both next generation consoles and is excited for both next generation consoles, I'm well aware that they're not going to be the same type of games on each platform, and I don't understand why we need to take shots at the other platforms. So it's really just an immature mindset. I think most adults hopefully have grown out of that and recognize that, hey, PlayStation has good games, Xbox has good games too. Maybe we didn't have the best games last generation, but we're certainly going to have some good ones this generation, from everything that I've seen and that's shaping up with the studio acquisitions. So, I mean, really just get over the whole console war nonsense. We need to move on from it.
Yeah, I agree. People need to grow up now. What about you, Tom? What is your take on console wars?
Oh man, the console wars brings me back. This is Halo 3 time frame for me when way back during high school. That's when the console wars were raging really rapidly with the PS3 and the 360. It did die down a lot during the PS4 and Xbox One. I feel like a lot of that had to do with the Xbox One not doing so well, but that should have shown people like it's not worth arguing over that. Just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy and play whatever they want to play. Let's just, have fun and we're all gamers.
And
Yeah, I want to get. Sorry, go on, to Kevin.
sorry, yeah, one point I wanted to make, and especially as we move into the next generation, we're seeing Xbox put things on PC and XCloud, and the expansion of cross play, cross progression. Like, we're going to see a lot of barriers break down. We're going to have Xbox gamers playing with PC and PlayStation gamers on the same game. So it's not a console war anymore. Everyone's going to start playing together. I mean, we're only getting there. There's obviously still barriers, only certain games, but I can see a future where third party games are certainly cross platform and cross play.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. And also getting back to what Kevin said, yeah, console wars were basically my thing in high school. Well, while I was in high school, it was the Xbox One, PS4, the beginning of the Xbox One, PS4 era. So yeah, I mean, Xbox fans, it was a hard time for us, really. Yeah, I mean, Xbox One generation kind of ruined the reputation of Xbox, and many people think of Xbox as this trash console, but actually, it's a great console. I don't know, mainly because of Xbox One, its reputation has been ruined. So yeah, getting back to the games, both consoles have great games. Console wars mindset is just immature at this point, and yeah, as I like to say, the streaming wars have begun now that Amazon, Google Stadia, and PlayStation have been pushing PS Now a lot recently. So yeah, I see the streaming wars as beginning right now, and yeah, let's move on to the Gears 5 RTX image. Did you guys see that?
I did see that. It looks like the janitor was working on those floors for days to make them as polished as possible.
I know, yeah. People were saying that it's not RTX, it's just people mopping the floor.
It
I
looks
mean,
good. It looks
it does
good.
look good. It does look good.
Um, Even in comparison with the PC versions, I mean, that's probably gonna get an update along the line to make it more parallel to the new version coming out for the Series X. But I'm interested. I for one, I have not beaten Gears 5 yet. I did start it over the summer, and I've played it a little bit in a couple recently. I'm at like the snow levels right now. Uh, I'm interested to jump back into this one for sure. The gameplay was great, and the co-op was my main driving factor for it. So being able to play it, with better visuals, and on top of that, the game already looks good now. But with better visuals, it's just going to be so much better.
Yeah, so Gears 5 is interesting for me. It's obviously gorgeous already on the One X. And I know that Gears, the series, since it came out, has been a game that I've played co-op with my brother. But Gears 5 is actually the first one where I just did not care about the story. I did not like the direction they went. I'm not going to spoil anything. But it really, really was a struggle for me to get through Gears 5 compared to the other Gears of War games. So I'm hoping they course correct that. In terms of just how it looks amazing. Colors are way more vibrant. I think that's what you guys were alluding to mopping up the floors. I think the bigger story for me personally is the improvements that the Series X is getting with Gears 5 in terms of input latency. I know they're reducing it for the campaign by 36%, and multiplayer is getting 57% reduction. For a shooter, that is huge. That's going to make a massive difference, especially when you're playing multiplayer. Having that better input lag is going to be a game changer.
Yeah, I do agree with you there. Having 120 FPS on any multiplayer game is just gonna, make it more competitive. And Gears as a franchise has been really close to my heart since that was the game I always used to play on my Xbox 360 and Xbox. No, not really Xbox One era, but yeah, Xbox 360 era with my friends. That was my go-to game on the Xbox, and that was my driving factor. That onto why I had an Xbox 360. So yeah, the RDX image looks great. The colors popped out much more. Can't wait to play it. Actually, well, now let's move on to Rainbow Six Siege coming to Game Pass. Now that's a big game. That's a really, really big multiplayer game. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
It's already came to Game Pass. Actually, this morning I checked; it's on there, and it did drop with the Season 1 bundle and the Season 2 bundle, so you'll get all of those operators. So that's great. You don't just have to start grinding immediately and just start getting all the ops. The fact that they're giving you 2 seasons to work with, that's a lot of characters to play around with. Uh, Rainbow Six is one game that I've played a lot of on Steam. So I never touched it on console. So now that it's on here, I'm actually interested to jump in and see how that works. I know this one's going to get 120 FPS update as well when the Series X comes out. I don't know if it's at launch, but somewhere down the line, it's definitely going to get that update.
Rainbow Six for me, I played it when it launched a few years ago. Me and my friends actually played quite a bit of it. I enjoy it. Sledge was my main. If you have mains, just smashing down the walls with hammers. It's a good game. The community can be a little bit toxic. Don't accept any random party chat or party requests on Xbox. You might end up DDoSed. But in terms of actual, what it means for Game Pass, I don't think it means that much. I mean, it's another great game coming to the service that is gonna let people that may have been interested in the game try it now, and they don't have to pay the $60 or more for the expansions. I wasn't aware that it included the first 2 bundles, so that's great. I know it's a big esport, so it just gets more people to play Rainbow Six, and that's always a good thing.
Yeah, I mean that's great having a game such as Rainbow Six on Game Pass. It is also, in fact, the first Ubisoft game to come to Game Pass. I find that quite surprising since Ubisoft have most of the games on literally every other streaming platform. I do expect Assassin's Creed Valhalla to come on Game Pass a few months after its release. I heard rumors that Xbox are talking to Ubisoft to get arrange some sort of deal for Assassin's Creed Valhalla to come on Game Pass. I don't know how true that is. But yeah, again, Rainbow Six Siege, a game that's been I've played probably my most played game this gen. I've played that game a lot. I don't think the game launched very well, so yeah, the game was probably one of the best multiplayer games I've played this gen. And yeah, it just had content dropping almost every month, so that was great. And recently, Sam Fisher joined Rainbow Six Siege. Have you guys had a chance to try him out yet?
I haven't had a chance to try them out yet. No, I was really interested when they announced Sam Fisher. But for me, it was more now that they're bringing him back into the spotlight. I really just want to see Sam Fisher back in the game, like in his own standalone game. On the 360, one of my favorite games was Splinter Cell. I think it was called Conviction. Whatever the latest Splinter Cell game was, and yeah, I really want Sam Fisher in my life again. And if they can bring Sam Fisher back to the Series X, I'll be so happy.
I haven't tried out Sam Fisher either, mainly due to heartbreak. I'm too torn up that we haven't had a Splinter Cell game in what seems like forever. That was one of my favorite games on last gen. Chaos Theory was probably my favorite with the co-op, especially. Just so much fun running those levels with someone else, finding neat ways to take down the enemies. It's a lot of fun. I'm sure. If he plays anything like he does in his original series, I'll enjoy him. I'm not sure how that translates to Rainbow Six, but I'll if they ever add him into the Game Pass version, then I'll be sure to check him out.
Yeah, I mean Splinter Cell, another great game on the 360 era. I don't know why Ubisoft aren't remaking that game. The game was an absolute masterpiece. I've only played one of the Splinter Cell's games and I really enjoyed it. I can't remember which one it was. But yeah, I'm definitely looking back to go replay those Splinter Cell games again on my Series X with obviously Auto HDR, which will absolutely be amazing. It'll get a huge graphical boost. And speaking of Splinter Cell, Splinter Cell did make a return on the Oculus VR. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Are you guys into VR? Not.
So in VR, I haven't seen the specific Splinter Cell thing for VR, but VR is definitely something that I'm interested in. I like watching some videos on it on YouTube, but it's not something that I'm like super into. It's it's not as grounded as it needs to be just yet. And the only game I'm really interested, I believe it was Half-Life Alex. That game looks fantastic. And if like that down the line, I would be down to play a lot of VR games. And if we can get that on Xbox as well, I even better.
Yeah, VR is a lot of fun. My friend has VR. I go over there, play some. I've played a few games. I've played a few horror games. Unfortunately, scary. Beat Saber, I know, is a game that gets talked about by everyone that enjoys virtual reality. It's probably it's like Rock Band, but you have swords and you smash blocks. So it's a rhythm game with music. That's definitely a highlight. I'm not familiar with this Splinter Cell one that's come to VR though, so I can't really give my opinion on that.
Yeah, I do agree. VR is absolutely amazing. I don't know why Splinter Cell's on VR. That's a weird game on VR. And speaking of Half-Life Alex, what do you guys think of the Valve acquisition rumors circulating around?
I think those are ludicrous. I mean, I in terms of like value, I believe Valve is worth a lot more than $7 billion. And depending on how much Microsoft has in their pocket to go for these acquisitions, because I know they did have like allocated a specific amount. I don't think Valve is one of them that they can take on. But if they did, it'll give them a good ground pacing to have that PC marketplace. Since their Windows store is not really as good, in all honesty, if they can get the Steam platform in their pocket, that would be much better for Microsoft in the long run, especially since they're focused on both PC and Xbox at this point, and that'll definitely put them ahead.
Yeah, I'm with Tom. The acquisition rumors are absolute nonsense. There is no way that Microsoft will ever acquire Valve. In case you're interested, Bloomberg listed Valve their net worth as 10 billion in 2019. I imagine they're probably worth more now. So I just can't see them ever spending 10 plus billion on Valve. If anything, I think it's a Game Pass deal. I know people don't enjoy the Microsoft Store on PC, so I can see Game Pass coming to Steam. Maybe some special deals if you get it through Steam. Maybe they get a revenue cut. I'm not sure, but it's certainly nothing to do with an acquisition. Possibly something to do with bringing a Valve game over to the Xbox as a port on Game Pass. That might be a stretch. I think Game Pass on Steam to phase out the Microsoft Store is a better move. Not phase out, I shouldn't say that. Just complement for people their preferred marketplace on the PC.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't see Valve happening. I'm not much into PC gaming, but do you guys know what IP Valve has besides Half-Life?
They have Portal and Team Fortress, but apart from that, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay. So, how many studios is Valve made of? Is just one studio making all those games?
All of those games, they never get to the third one. What are you talking about? I'm joking, but no, I think I believe it's just one studio. They don't really make a lot of games, so I'd be surprised if they had more than one working on these games.
So Valve makes Team Fortress, Half-Life, Dota 2, Left 4 Dead, Portal, Counter-Strike. So they have big games that are still relevant, especially in esports. They don't have a giant list of games. Like, it's not very diverse. They're all pretty much the same IPs. So if one had to come to Xbox, probably Team Fortress 2, if I had to guess. It's probably the easiest one to get on there.
Yeah, I mean, I've only ever heard of Half-Life and Counter-Strike. Never heard of Team Fortress. But we'll talk more about Valve and all the acquisition movers later on. So further topic. Last week we missed out on this topic. Phil Spencer's interview with Kotaku. Now, he did discuss there that that they did not agree to recoup the money they spent on the Bethesda acquisition by putting games on PlayStation platform. They think they can do it by just putting them on the Xbox ecosystem, such as XCloud, Game Pass, and the Series X. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Yeah, so the interview was with Steven Totillo over at Kotaku, and his thing, he asked Phil Spencer, is it possible to recoup a $7.5 billion investment if you don't sell Elder Scrolls 6 on the PlayStation? Phil responded, yes, then paused. I don't want to be flip about that. The deal was not done to take games away from another player base like that. Nowhere in the documentation that we put together was how do we keep other players from playing these games? We want more people to be able to play games, not fewer people to go and play games. But I'll also say in the model, I'm just answering directly the question that you had. When I think about where people are going to be playing and the number of devices that we had, and we have xCloud and PC and Game Pass and our console base, I don't have to go ship those games on any other platform other than the platforms that we support in order to kind of make the deal work for us, whatever that means. I think this is the most direct we've had yet that Bethesda games are going to be exclusive to the Xbox ecosystem. Phil is basically saying, I don't need to do that unless they pay me money. They need to make a deal to get any other games to be non-exclusive. But it sounds like the majority are going to be exclusive. And that's not just to Xbox, it's to the PC, it's to Game Pass, xCloud. As long as it's Xbox-owned ecosystem, I think Bethesda games are going to be on there. And I don't think they're going to be on PlayStation. This interview single-handedly changed my thought process on how they were going to change or how they were going to handle Bethesda games going forward. I know I mentioned last episode that I thought established IPs would remain cross-platform and new IPs would be exclusive, but my whole mindset has changed on that.
I agree. I mean, they can definitely make their money back. It just depends on how fast they want to do it in terms of Microsoft. So if their long-term plan is not to see a return in over 10 years, they don't have to wait. They don't have to sell their games out to a different company just to get that revenue stream back to them. Microsoft's going to play it smart this generation for sure. And just keeping the majority of the Bethesda games in their pocket it'll help increase Game Pass sales overall and sales to the Xbox ecosystem. So I'm with Phil on this one. They don't have to, but if they did, I'm not against it either way.
Yeah, I mean, I've said this from the beginning since the acquisition happened. Xbox is now going to spend $7.5 billion to put their games on another platform. I just don't see it happening. I mean, people look at Cuphead, Ori as examples to why they might do it, but Xbox Game Studios do not make that game. They just published by Xbox, like Studio MDHR, Moon Studios. They're the ones who develop these IPs, and Xbox just publishes them. And people also throw around Minecraft a lot. Well, Minecraft was already on PlayStation, so I don't. That's exactly why it still gets updates on the PlayStation. I highly doubt any of the Bethesda games are going to be on PlayStation. Even if they are, I don't really mind because I have Game Pass. I'm going to get them on day one for free. But I don't see Xbox doing it as a business strategy, basically, because how are they going to get most of the player base? They need to attract more players to the Xbox ecosystem. That's what they're trying to do, and without making them exclusive, I just don't see them doing it.
I think that if certain games aren't exclusive, the very few that might not be exclusive, even if they go to PlayStation, I think you can still recoup your money because PlayStation is going to have to pay you to get it on the PlayStation. But you can also benefit your player base on the Xbox in the Game Pass ecosystem. Maybe DLC is free of charge for Game Pass members, but PlayStation still has to buy the DLC. There you're making more money, but benefiting your players and giving them more of an incentive to come over and be in the Game Pass ecosystem, to be on an Xbox, to be on your PC, whatever it is. So I can certainly see if they want to go that route, they can make money that way, or they can just keep it exclusive and people will come because Bethesda sells.
Yeah, but don't you think a bigger, incentive would be to just have them on the Xbox ecosystem? That would just attract a lot of players from the PlayStation ecosystem. Don't you think that?
Oh yeah, definitely. I'm just saying if they didn't want to be viewed as a bad guy by PlayStation gamers, being like, oh, they're making me join the Xbox ecosystem somehow, some way. This is a way that they can keep a fan base for games that they now own, make more money off of it because they have to buy the game, they have to buy DLC. But the existing player bases or the people that are like, hey, you know what? I don't mind going over and playing it on my PC or subscribing to cloud gaming and playing it on my mobile devices, and subscribing to Game Pass that way. They won't care. They're going to make money regardless. I do think they're going to be exclusive, but I think that's another option that Phil and the team have probably considered.
Yeah, I mean, I do see that, but PlayStation took away Sunset Overdrive from us, and now Final Fantasy 16, which is confirmed to be a full PlayStation exclusive, not timed exclusive, a full PlayStation exclusive.
I
Final
haven't
Fantasy
seen that.
16.
Is that accurate?
It was an article released by Push Square, I think, earlier today. I know, Tom, this is going to hurt you. Plays Final Fantasy 16, full exclusive PlayStation.
Yeah, I mean that's going to be one of the reasons I'm going to pick up a PlayStation down the line, that in God of War. But yeah, I'm not really too surprised about that one being pushed out as an exclusive for them. They've had Final Fantasy games in the past being exclusive on the PS2 as well and PS1 era. So I mean, they've already have that relationship built. Taking away games, that's what they're doing to me right now. So I'm not I'm a little petty about it. So I'm not against us doing the same thing. But Sunset Overdrive, that again, you said that was one taken away from us, but does Microsoft own the IP for that? Because I mean, we have other studios, and I would love to see another Sunset Overdrive. I feel like that's one of the more underrated games on the Xbox One.
I'm not sure if they own the IP. Let me look it up real quick.
No, they don't. They don't. Insomniac owns the IP. Yeah,
Oh,
PlayStation
man.
can make Sunset Overdrive 2 exclusive to the PlayStation. So yeah, going back to that topic, yeah, I mean, if PlayStation's doing it, we don't have to do it, but I can see Xbox doing it. But I wouldn't really mind if the games go to PlayStation because, anyways, I'm getting them on Xbox Game Pass day one, which is a big advantage over PlayStation, who have to pay $70 for that game, and you can extend up to like $200 with all the DLCs Elder Scrolls 6 will have or Starfield will have. So,
yeah, I mean, that's my feeling too. I don't mind if they aren't exclusive because I'm going to have them on Game Pass day one. PlayStation looks to cost more, $70 price points for a lot of their games. So Phil and the Xbox team will be making even more money over there.
I mean, Bug Snacks costs $70.
No, Bugsnax costs $25 actually.
Wait, it actually does cost $25?
Yeah, it's 25.
Oh, okay. Never mind
Yeah,
that then.
that's
Oh,
not.
I
It's
think,
not.
sorry, Destruction. Destruction
Yes,
All Stars
Destruction
cost
All Stars.
$70. Yeah, $70.
The game they won't show gameplay of for some reason. Oh, extensive gameplay. They have to know that game's gonna flop, but that's a whole nother discussion.
Yeah, I mean, Spider-Man Miles Morales is $50. I don't know why Destruction All Stars is $70. Spider-Man Miles Morales is a much bigger game and it has a bigger fan base. So Sony should have made that $70 instead of from a market standpoint, not from a fan's point of view. But yeah, from a business strategy, that should have been $70, not Destruction All Stars.
I don't even agree with Demon Souls being $70 since that's a remake. I don't think a remake should ever be that much. So what they did with
Yeah.
Miles Morales, that was a fair price. 70 is a lot for a remake.
Yeah, I do agree. I do agree with that since we got Mafia Definitive Edition last month, and that game only cost $40, and that game is absolutely amazing. You guys have to check it out. That game is absolutely amazing, and it only costs $40. So yeah, I mean, PlayStation is just scamming us at this point. So there was one more thing said at the Kotaku interview, which I wanted to discuss today, was that Rare's IP. Phil Spencer was asked if if Rare would allow other studios to work on their IP and create Banjo Kazooie and Conquer once again. What do you guys? What do you guys think on that?
So in terms of Banjo Kazooie, I've only played the original one, like the first two. The third one I heard was bad touching it. So if they did allow other studios to work on that, I'm not a good Rare has their hands full right now, especially with maybe other projects they're working on. So in terms of going to their backlog, I think that Rare is a better studio that doesn't have to go back for any sort of remake or their old series. They can definitely let that for like a newer development. Anyways, I think Rare's in good hands right now, and they can push better content out for us instead.
As a big Rare fan from back in the day, mostly with Banjo Kazooie, which I did replay through recently last year before it was added to Smash. I love Banjo. I love the first two games. They're phenomenal. I recommend anyway if you like 3D platform collectathon type games, it's better than Mario 64. Don't at me. But I've always said that if Rare isn't going to use them, give them to another studios. From the sounds of what Phil said, it's up to Rare. I think that's literally what he said. It's he leaves it up to the studios if they want to, if Banjo or Conquer or any of their other IPs are going to get brought back. It sounds like it's in Rare's hands. I'm hoping that Rare, can see that there is hardcore fans out there that would love these games to come out. I am excited for Everwild. I think it looks good. I'm not sure what the gameplay is going to be, but the art style, the visuals, everything I've seen of it so far looks really good. So I'm hoping that Rare will make the right choice and give us a Banjo 3, because Banjo Nuts and Bolts does not count as Banjo 3. That game is an abomination, and I refuse to accept its existence.
I do agree. Banjo Sports, that game was an absolute abomination. It was an absolute disaster. I haven't really played any of the original Banjo games. I've only played Banjo in Super Smash Bros. I think he just arrived like earlier this year. That's when I got the Nintendo Switch, anyways. So yeah, that's the only platform I played Banjo on. But I think if any studio were to work on Banjo, I would want it to be Double Fine, or if Xbox acquired Moon Studios, the studio behind Ori, I think only these two studios can pull off a perfect Banjo game.
I definitely think Double Fine could do a great job with a Banjo or even a Conquer, or hell, they can make Jet Force Gemini again for all I care about. But I mean, I'm fine with them trying. If Rare doesn't want to do it and they want to say, hey, one of our partners can make it, go for it. I just want another Banjo. I think it's been too long. I think the IP still has fans, like I said, and I mean he did come to Smash last year, so it gives us gives us a little bit of hope. They still clearly know that he has fans. He's one of the most requested people to be put in Smash, has been since Melee. So Banjo fans are out there. We want him. I'm hoping Rare will do it eventually. I'll never give up that dream.
Yeah, I really hope for Banjo to come back. If anyone were to ever work on Perfect Dark, what studio would you like to see work on it?
Well, isn't that the rumored initiative game?
Yeah, but besides Initiative, who
Yeah,
else? Who do you think is going to make a
I
good
think we
fit?
touched on this last week. I think if it would be id, the new acquisition that came along with Bethesda. They make, what do they make? Are they the people that make Doom?
Yeah, they made Doom.
Yeah.
I think it should be Machine Games, the people who are behind Wolfenstein. I think they'd make a great Perfect Dark game. After they finish the Wolfenstein trilogy, which is Wolfenstein 3, which is rumored to be coming out next year, the holiday 2021. So yeah, we got two great FPS games coming out next year: Halo Infinite and Wolfenstein 3. Um, Now we did go a little off topic there. Now I would like to discuss the Xbox event in New Zealand. What do you guys think it is? People are hyping it up a lot.
The dream for me would be like, hey guys, Xbox is coming out tomorrow, and we're launching Halo Infinite multiplayer along with it. That's my dream.
Oh my god.
If they delayed the story for Halo Infinite, that's fine with me, honestly. But the fact that I have a bunch of these monster keys lying around of double XP, I want to use them.
I'm actually the opposite. I think this event is being overhyped for no reason. From what I've heard, New Zealand always has a launch event. Considering it's an hour before midnight when the console launches, I don't think it's anything more than just a little launch event. Like, hey guys, we're excited. The console's coming out, worldwide launch. Get hyped. I don't think there'll be any big announcements. And in terms of splitting Halo multiplayer and campaign, I would prefer them not to do that. I actually like to play through the campaign before multiplayer. I know in that leak that we got, I made air quotes when I said leak. They were saying that they were going to announce a multiplayer beta for the spring, March and April, which that seems more realistic time frame for Halo Infinite multiplayer beta if we're getting it next year. Hopefully we don't have to wait that long considering it was supposed to come out. So I can see that being a more realistic thing. If they want to get people hyped, they can announce that. I don't think it'll be, hey guys, it's live right now, right at midnight. Especially considering the United States, Xbox's main player base is 15 or so hours behind New Zealand. So we'll still be, well into the 9th or even the 8th when this event happens. So.
Yeah, I mean, oh, sorry, go on.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I was gonna say I agree. I think these launch events aren't gonna really be anything. That was just what I was hoping for, but let's be honest, they're just gonna hype up the consoles, and from what I can tell, it looks like they're gonna do it like worldwide launch events for the most part. I believe we're gonna have one here eventually, but it hasn't been announced yet. Same with the Mexico launch event. I mean, they're just gonna hype up the console. As much as I want Halo Infinite, I still take the split. I would take the split games, man.
Yeah, I mean, I hope it's a Valve acquisition, but that's really unlikely. So yeah, talking about the New Zealand event, I think we're gonna have one in most of the major countries like UK, USA, Canada. I think we're gonna get one in most of these countries. Um,
Yeah.
But another Mexico leak, says that XO20 will take place November 9th. Let me just read out everything that's on the leak. Event is tentatively set to take place at the Amway Center in Orlando, Florida, if WWE had not extended their residency deal with the venue. On November 9th at 8 p.m. EST on Fox and Twitch, the Microsoft Theater in Los Angeles, California, is set to be contingency venue for the Hemingway Center is unavailable. Halo Infinite updated version gameplay from the July event with new scenes. Spring 2021 open beta in March. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S, and Game Pass. Introduction by Phil Spencer. Start the show by saying, "Let's celebrate together." Miss Universe, the official EA game reveal trailer, co-developed by EA Tiburon and Motive Studios using Frostbite. Holiday 2021, PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S. Play first with EA Play and Game Pass on Xbox and PC. Sea of Thieves, Rare 2020 recap trailer, Xbox Series X S optimized update releasing November 11th. Available now on PC, Xbox One, Series X, and Game Pass. Crossfire X launch trailer available for download now, Xbox One, Series X, S, and free to play. Far Cry 6 first gameplay look February 18, 2021. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, S. Timed exclusivity to the Xbox. It's at Xbox Game Pass sizzle reel. New IP from Compulsion Games teaser trailer. Forza Motorsport Dev Diary, Assassin's Creed Valhalla post-launch plans trailer, Xbox Series XS, PSO 2 New Genesis new gameplay trailer, Balan Wonderworld new gameplay trailer, Grounded November update trailer, Series XS optimized update coming to December, available now, Gears 5 and Gears Tactics launch trailer. Closing remarks by Phil Spencer closes the show with one more thing, new IP from the initiative. All right, what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Sorry, let me get over laughing. This might be one of the worst leaks I've ever heard. And I have lots of thoughts on why it's the worst leak. My initial red flags is one, when was the last time Xbox held a showcase at 8 p.m. Eastern and broadcasted it on Fox? Their previous showcases have been around around noon Eastern time. So the timing just is very weird. This is more of a time slot that like the Game Awards gets in December. It's not, or a conference at E3. It's not a Xbox thing, and it's certainly not big enough to be on Fox. So that's an initial red flag. My bigger one maybe is, why in the world would Xbox hold an event in Florida? They're based in Washington, which is the other side of the country. And why would they pay to rent a venue when they have the Microsoft Theater that they can use for free? That doesn't make any sense to me. So, just on the logistical part, that nothing in the opening makes any sense of why they would hold this event in Florida, especially because Florida is a state that is doing terribly with COVID-19. I think it would be a terrible look for Microsoft to hold an event there. And if they're going to just broadcast an empty stadium to people, they can do that for free in Los Angeles.
I mean,
sorry.
like, why would Xbox want to open the show off with the Miss Universe game? I mean, that just sounds so ridiculous. A Miss Universe game being developed by EA. Come on. And then Far Cry 6 timed exclusivity. That game's already confirmed for PS5, so I highly doubt that. And the new IP from Initiative, I highly doubt that's going to be there. Even if the event's happening, I highly doubt it's going to be there. I think where we're going to see it is VGA Game Awards. That's where we saw Hellblade 2, so I think that's where we're going to see it. And Compulsion's new IP, again, I don't see it getting revealed till next year. Probably E3 2021 or some small event before that. So yeah, Tom, what are your thoughts on this?
I just wanted to crap on Miss Universe. That when I saw the Miss Universe thing, that immediately I was like, this is false. Just based on that alone, who in the right mind would buy that? So that ruined all credibility the leak might have had.
So that is a game that's being made. I looked it up. EA is making.
No.
EA is making a.
Oh my god! You gotta be kidding me.
No, that's a real thing that's in production.
Wow.
To have it at so half the
EA of all people. EA of all people.
Half the games on this list, it wouldn't make sense for it to be on an Xbox showcase, mainly because most of them are like upgraded versions for the Series X. Well, we've been seeing tweets and blog posts like, why would they save a whole event for this? Doesn't make any sense. Or they're games that would be at other developer shows. Like Far Cry they have Ubisoft Forward, so they're not going to put that
Exactly.
at an Xbox show. EA the EA game will be at the EA Play videos that they're doing now, so that's not going to it just doesn't make any sense. They threw in some big name titles that make it look like, oh, this could be a possible event. It doesn't make any sense. They threw an indie sizzle reel in here because they're like, every show has an indie sizzle reel. It's absolute ludicrous. This whole breakdown is nonsense, and it has to go down as one of the worst leaks I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, we got a lot of similar leaks right before the July showcase, and yeah, it was discussing about the Assassin's Creed post-launch plans. We already got that. We just got that earlier this week. Assassin's Creed Valhalla will be getting 3 expansions. The first one being, let me just read it out 1 second. The Wrath of the Druids, The Siege of Paris, and The Legend of Beowulf. I mean, that's already been confirmed, so why would that be there? And yeah, I mean, most of this just sounds ridiculous, especially the Mr. Universe game. Absolutely bullshit.
Day one game.
Yeah, Day 1 Game Pass through EA Play. I mean, I do see some Ubisoft games. No, not Ubisoft. Why would Ubisoft games come? I mean, EA games coming to EA Play day one for the Xbox Series X. I can see Xbox making some deals with that. Rumor has it that Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order will be coming to EA Play on launch when it comes to Xbox Game Pass. Have you guys played that game? And what are your thoughts on that?
So I got that game for my brother on Christmas. It looked great. I never got a chance to touch it because I really don't want to play it on PlayStation. If it comes out on the Game Pass, I would gladly touch it. The game looks really good, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan. And I love the what was it, the Force Awaken games on the 360. Those were amazing. So this looks more in line with that. I would definitely play it again, or play it for my first time, I should say.
Yeah, I've heard it's good. I hear it has some technical issues, has really long load times when you die, apparently. I know they've patched some of it since launch, and it's certainly in a better state than it was from what I've heard. If it was on Game Pass, possibly. It's certainly, EA Play games they don't tend to be new titles. They tend to be games that have been out for 6 months. So it could certainly go on there. I don't see an issue with that. And then obviously EA Play is now bundled with Game Pass on the Xbox. So that sounds good to me.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the games I have not played this gen. I've heard a lot of praise about it, and yeah, I mean, the load times aren't going to be a big issue right now because the Series X incredible load times and quick resume and all that. So yeah, if it comes to EA Play, I'm definitely trying it out. So yeah, that's one of the go-to games on EA Play if it does come out. Speaking of EA Play. I'm hearing rumors that they're going to be adding a lot of games on November 10th just to support the Xbox Series X. They already have all the Titanfall games, the older FIFA games, older Madden games, all the Mass Effect trilogy. Now we are getting a Mass Effect trilogy remaster soon. Do you think that's going to make its way to EA Play on day one?
No. The short answer is no. EA likes money. They're gonna sell that for $60. And if you don't want to buy that, you have the originals on presumably Game Pass when EA Play launches with the console. I know that in some areas of the world, I saw screenshots where they could see the EA titles starting to appear in the Game Pass library. They didn't have access to them yet, so they're definitely already going in the back end. I mean, EA Play has good titles. Mass Effect, they have the Dead Space trilogy. So it'll Game Pass.
I mean, yeah, that brings it also brings a lot of sports games to Game Pass, which Game Pass has been lacking. So that's great as well. So to close off this topic, are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for the Mass Effect trilogy? And they're apparently remaking the whole Mass Effect 1, the first Mass Effect game, because it was really outdated. So are you guys gonna pick that up day one?
I would definitely pick it up day one. Mass Effect 1 is the one I skipped. I played 2 and 3. I tried going back to 1, but it fell off. The only reason I got into 2 is I looked up the story of what happened in 1 just for it to make sense to me, but I would definitely love to play a remastered version of the entire thing. And if they can fix Andromeda as well on top of that, as a cherry on top, like, let's do it.
Yeah, I would probably pick it up. I love the Mass Effect trilogy. It's fantastic. I played 1, 2, 3, and Andromeda. I think Andromeda, it wasn't great. I'd give it like a 6 out of 10. But compared to the other ones, Andromeda is nowhere near that quality. 1 definitely has some issues with how it controls things that they altered going forward, that I think if they could bring the new systems back to 1, it would make it a much better game. In terms of me just buying it day one, I'd have to see how big of like a remaster it actually is. If it's like the Prince of Persia remaster from Ubisoft, that's going to be a no for me. But if it's an actual like Demon Souls, yeah, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, so that pretty much about concludes that topic. Now, heading to the last topic of today. Now, this one's just pure speculation. I want you all to give me your scope of what Xbox is going to do the entire 2021. I mean, what they're going to show at E3 and everything. Everything's related to Xbox in 2021. What games you're releasing. So yeah, let's start with you, Kevin. What's your plan for Xbox 2021?
Well, we already know Halo's coming at some point, so that's not a big guess. My guess for when it's coming is Q2 2021, probably June. June seems like a safe bet. I think that they delayed it, and I don't think a few months is enough to get it to where they want it. So I think just to be safe and have everything in there, they'll push it start of the summer. Everwild, I think will be coming. I think we already know that. In terms of other games, I think Hellblade 2 will probably be the big E3 what they show off. I think that'll be their big game. They're gonna use that to display, here's the power of the Series X. I'm hoping Hellblade 2 is exclusive to next gen consoles, just so they can focus on just that development, get that graphics. I don't know if they've said anything about that. I know they've talked about how games will be backwards, so that's probably a pipe dream. But I would love if they were like Hellblade 2 is only coming to Series X and Series S, so we can focus on maxing the resolution, maxing the frames per second. But I have, even if it's not, I still think it'll be good. I mean, I've said it 9 times this show. My pipe dream is we have one more thing, and then a Jiggy drops down, and out comes Banjo-Kazooie. That is my dream. How they can end an E3 showcase. You don't have to show me any gameplay. Just drop a puzzle piece, show me the character, and then say, coming. That's all I need. In terms of anything else, I think we have a good roadmap for what is being worked on. I know we had some Starfield leaks. That would be huge if that came out next year. I'm not sure if it will, but that would be massive for Xbox to get that. What are you guys thinking?
So yeah, I mean that's pretty great. Okay, I'm really ambitious here. Half of the stuff I'm gonna say probably not true. So yeah, we're heading into 2021, knowing the initiative's new IP. Well, learn from what we hear from Game Awards. We end in 2021. February hits, and that's when the Bethesda acquisition is rumored to be completed. Xbox hosts an event, announced that the acquisition is complete, not and maybe a blog post, and then reveal the trailer of Starfield. And then after that, it confirmed that Starfield will be coming out November 2021. After that, we do get the release of Halo Infinite. Halo Infinite gonna get a lot of players, a lot of sales. Great job with Halo Infinite. Then 2 months after that, we will be getting Everwild, which I believe is going to be a great game, another great game coming to the Xbox Game Pass and Xbox ecosystem. And then after that, we'll get the studio acquisition announcement for Bloober, Techland, and Asobo. I believe Microsoft will acquire these 3 studios heading into 2021. And after that, I think around August, September-ish, that's when Wolfenstein should drop. Wolfenstein 3. That's when that game's gonna drop. And then to close the year off, we get Starfield and EXO 2021, which I believe is going to show us Compulsion's new IP and Exile's new IP, and announce another acquisition of WB Games. And then we end the year off. We end the year off with Starfield winning Game of the Year.
You had me for probably 60% of that. I was with you. The start seems very realistic. You lost me towards the end with some of that, but I don't think that's the most outrageous thing I've ever heard. I don't know if Starfield would win Game of the Year, especially.
Yeah, that'll probably go to God of War.
Yeah, I say especially in a year with God of War supposed to be coming out.
Yeah,
I can't. I don't know. Has a Bethesda game ever won Game of the Year?
Oh yeah. Skyrim, Fallout 3, and
Really?
Elder
Okay.
Scrolls Oblivion. 3
Oh
games.
wow. Okay, so they got some stuff. All right. But yeah, I can see your first 6 months sounds pretty realistic. The last 6 months, I would dispute, but it's not the worst prediction I've ever heard.
What about you, Tom?
So mine's is not as ambitious as yours. Mine's is really just straightforward. So obviously, we're going to be expecting Halo Infinite in 2021. I also do believe with EA being already with Microsoft in terms of the partnership with EA Play, that their partnership will eventually increase a little bit more. And just for their E3 landscape, I think EA would be involved a lot more heavily than it would be on the Sony side. And I really do believe one of the games that they would be showing is Dragon Age 4. One of my most anticipated games. I loved Dragon Age.
Dragon Age 4, wow.
Yeah. And
Xbox
besides,
exclusive. I'm just kidding.
Well, no, and then right after that, we'll see, Elder Scrolls 6 Xbox exclusive with some gameplay.
Yes. Fallout 5 Xbox exclusive.
But yeah, I think 2021 would definitely see some Elder Scrolls 6 gameplay, all on Xbox, and that's going to be my main focus for 2021. Elder Scrolls, man. Who doesn't love it?
I mean, yeah, Elder Scrolls great gameplay, and they've apparently revamped the whole animation system, so I'm really excited for that, since the third-person animations were really whack in previous games, especially Fallout 4, Skyrim. The players really used to run in a really weird way. So yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah, they fixed the combat in the Elder Scrolls. That'd be way better. Skyrim's combat was, now when you play, it feels real dated. So
I know, yeah.
That's the main focus.
So yeah, I hope Elder Scrolls 6 lasts for about 5 years, not 10 years. So yeah. Before we wrap up, it's time for this week's opinion topic: pre-order experience. So what about you, Kevin? How was your pre-order experience?
It actually hasn't been too bad, to be honest with you. So I took the morning off when pre-orders were going live on the 22nd of September. So I had all my tabs open, all the stores. I was refreshing. My brother in the other room, he refreshing, trying to get a console locked down. Every site struggling to load anything, getting to checkout, getting errors. So it was obviously frustrating. 50 minutes later, I got one at Target. A few minutes after that, the Amazon link went live. Immediately got one. That was the easiest process I've had. So I locked down one for me, locked down one for my brother. And then Best Buy actually yesterday, they put out more consoles, and I secured one through Best Buy for pickup. So I have 3 right now, hoping none of them get canceled. Obviously, if none of them get canceled, I'm gonna pick up the Best Buy one, because that's a pickup day one. I don't have to wait for shipping. And then I'm just gonna sell the one to my buddy for retail. I'm not a scalper. If you're scalping, you're shit. But I'm gonna help my friend who hasn't had the luck in getting one. So I managed to get 3. My friend got one. My brother got none. So I'm the pre-order king apparently.
I got really lucky. My experience was pretty much started off like yours. Had all the tabs open. GameStop. I wanted to do GameStop specifically because I traded in. I had 3 Nintendo Switches, so I traded one of those in. So I was going to use a lot of that extra money to go towards the Series X.
Yep.
I was in line, their virtual line, for the longest, and then it just ended, and I was there in the beginning. Walmart I tried, Target I tried, and it was unsuccessful. Best Buy, like you said, came out like an hour later. I did get lucky there. But yeah, I didn't even have the money for the Best Buy one, but for some reason they let me put the pre-order in. When I got paid the next day, I was like, all right, let me just finalize this. They accepted it, so I'm hoping everything goes smoothly at this point.
That's crazy because I got the Best Buy one yesterday, and they immediately, first my bank flagged it as fraud, so I had to approve that. And Best Buy gives you apparently 24 hours to approve your transaction to get the pre-authorization charge in there. So I updated my payment after I approved it with my bank, and they didn't cancel my order. So everything's good so far. I got the pre-auth on my card. So you should be fine as far as I can tell. Target charges a pre-auth every 8 days. They want to make sure.
Wow.
It's extra. Yeah, every 8 days, $534.99 is missing out of my bank account, and then I get it back 3 days later. So that's a little frustrating. But I got 3.
Yeah, I mean, I got really unlucky with this. So I do have a pre-order lockdown, but it got moved to first restock, so I won't be getting it at November 12th, November 10th. So I'm thinking of canceling the pre-order and just going console hunting November 10th. The old school way.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't even just cancel it. I would just go console hunting day one. If you get lucky, cancel your pre-order then.
Yep. I definitely
I think that's what I'm going to do. It is scheduled to come out 10th of December, or 1 month later, if I am unable to find one. So yeah,
that's when your restock's coming a month.
I was heartbroken. Yeah, restock's coming a month after launching a month. Shoot. So yeah, I was really heartbroken when I read that. I was literally.
Oh man, that's rough.
I couldn't be bothered to do work the entire day. I was just sad, depressed.
No, I would definitely hold on to that. Go console hunting. I don't know what the situation is like where you are. From what I've heard, Target and other retailers are going to have some of both Xbox and PlayStation on launch day. I heard Target isn't letting people camp out in the United States. You have to order online and do pickup, which might help the bots get more. I don't know.
I mean, here in the Middle East, literally no one uses an Xbox, so I don't think I'll have much trouble going console hunting. So yeah, I'll have to definitely try that out, because literally no one in the Middle East buys an Xbox. And people who buy PlayStation, they don't even play the PlayStation exclusive. All they play here is FIFA, Call of Duty. That's it. All year long.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still I have someone I'm gonna buy a PlayStation from if I can't find one, but I'm really hoping that Best Buy restocks like they did with the Xbox, and I can get one there.
Yeah.
Or I'm gonna try console hunting on launch day, see if I can snag one, and then I won't have to buy it off someone.
Yeah, I mean, PS5 has a great launch lineup: Demon's Souls, Spider-Man, Destruction All Stars, Godfall, and the Game of the Year.
Man, I just want Sackboy. I don't want any of that.
Snacks.
I just want Sackboy.
Bug Snacks. Bug Snacks, Game of the Year. Calling it.
Talking about Bug Snacks. But Sackboy is mine, but I have most of that week off, so I'm prepared.
Do you guys know about that Sackboy troll who's usually in Xbox comment sections?
No.
Oh man. So basically every Xbox YouTuber, he literally hunts them down, and he puts Xbox and a yuck emoji in literally every single Xbox video there is.
Be a bot.
Yeah.
He's literally, his name is Sackboy, and there's one more guy called Van Dummy. Yeah, they both do the same in literally every Xbox video. So yeah, I guess this is where we have to wrap it up. Thank you everyone for listening. And before we go, if you enjoyed today's podcast, make sure to give it a like and subscribe so you don't miss our next podcast. Follow Project XTalk on Twitter so you can interact with us there. And if you want to interact with us personally, you can find me at Aman Abdulmohi on Twitter. Where can we find you, Tom?
You can find me at Chronicle Tom
On Twitter. What about you, Kevin?
You can find me at the Muffin Mon on Twitter. It's a 1 instead of an I.
Great. So we will see you all again next week.